Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures on, well, what is a very wet and drab day here in Yorkshire. But what the rain does is it brings out the beautiful greens and the flowers and the colours against the grey background. Well, sit back, relax and enjoy today's show. Well, here I am next to a plant that you either like or you hate or really don't notice it at all because it's a weed commonly, but it's also a very, very useful plant. And this is the common stinging nettle. Thousands upon thousands of these are in hedgerows and mainly actually in land that is a bit, well, rough. They're like just derelict pieces of land. They'll grow anywhere, really. Why am I talking about the stinging nettle? Well, it's one of those plants, as I say, you either love or you hate. Obviously, most people only know it when they get stung. They're walking through maybe the countryside, and they've got shorts on or whatever, and you get stung, and then you try and find a dock leaf, because a dock leaf has properties that you rub on, a bit like an anti-inflammatory, I suppose, and it gets rid of the sting. It's easy to get rid of the sting, and then it can be used. Once it goes into boiling water, within seconds, because on here there are little hairs all down and around, and it's those hairs that are the sting. They're the ones that sting you. There is a way of actually picking this up without getting stung. I'm not going to try it because I can't remember. I used to use it a long time ago for making wine. Yes, I've used this as a basis for wine, and by gum, it tastes rather nice. This very common plant is used in all sorts of ways in our lives, and every single part of the plant, the flowers can be used, the leaves can be used, even the roots can be used, and it's full of vitamin C, it's full of iron, and that's why it's really, really good for us. You can have it, as I say, in all sorts of cooking. Way back in the past, they used to have it in porridge, in a starter breakfast, and as you came out of winter into the spring, it would be eaten early in the mornings to give you some energy, to revive you, to get you going because of the vitamin C, obviously, and the iron. Really, really good for you, actually. Full of medicinal purposes. People, of course, have it in herbal teas and give you a bit of a pep up, actually. But what I didn't realise was, and I did know that it was used as a dye, because obviously this is very green and it does give you a green dye. Well, in the Second World War, our soldiers' uniforms were dyed with nettles, and the school children used to be sent out to pick as many of these as they possibly could, and that was sent to the war effort, and it was used to dye our clothing. What I didn't realise was that the German soldiers didn't dye their clothes with it. They made their clothes out of this plant. Isn't that amazing? So there it was taken down, put into emulsion and made into cloth. Fascinating. It also is used in rope making too, on the big ships. A bit like a hemp, I suppose. Just a fascinating piece of plant that we just walk by really and ignore, and yet it has so many properties in here. Where did it come from? Well, they of course talk about the Americas and all over the world, actually Canada as well. So fascinating. It's just one of those plants, as I say, we walk past, and yet you can do so much with it once you get rid of the stinging part. Brilliant. And it's very good actually for a lot of animals and insects on the allotment or wherever it's growing. This one at the moment actually is covered in green fly, I've just noticed, which is not a good thing. I don't want green fly in my allotment anywhere near my plants because it sucks the life out of them. However, that means it will attract the beneficial insects into my growing area, such as ladybirds, and they'll come and eat off here, and then get rid of, hopefully, all of the ones that I don't really want, the predator ones, on my allotment. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the common stinging nettle, a very, very useful plant, full of vitamin C and iron, as I've said. Isn't that great? Well, I'm off to make a cup of herbal tea. Well, my lovely radishes here, my lettuces and my chard really do like this weather because it keeps them really nice and moist. and I'm really having a lovely time here. Well, I'm going to take this moment now to go to a viewer, to Steve in Derbyshire, and Steve is one of our regular viewers here, and he always sends fantastic photographs to us. And you're the first this season, Steve, with a proper full roundup of the things that you're growing, and well, what an amazing achievement. I know you only got this patch that you're growing in last year, but you've really worked on it this year, and well, you've got some lovely vegetables growing. And you planted your garlic last autumn, you were saying, and they're coming on really well. I'm not having much success with my garlic. I don't know why. I've tried different areas. Every time I've grown it somewhere different. Next year, I think I'm going to plant it autumn like you've done, and I have done myself. I might just keep it in the greenhouse or even in the growing frame. You've also got, and I love this idea, Steve, and apparently it's quite successful last year for keeping your slugs away. You're using scourers, and this is the second year you've used them, so recycling again on the allotment and growing areas is a fantastic thing, and it's really helped. And you've got your purple sprouting broccoli and your sprouts protected under netting too, which is a good idea. Fingers crossed, yes, you don't get cabbage whites on those. You've also got lovely strawberries coming. What a lovely selection, and they're new this year apparently. Mine, as I said, are about 2 years old now, and they're slowly getting there. They're full of strawberries, and I think, like you, I have my first strawberry that's turning red, and I look forward to having that, because they taste so delicious, absolutely fantastic. In fact, nothing to do with strawberries but to do with peas. I've got my first pea. I have two pea pods off my pea plants. Again, I don't know what it is about me here on the allotment. I'm not very good at growing peas either, but we've had 2 peas in a pod and they taste absolutely delicious. There's something really, well, crisp about a picked pea from your own pea pod plant. Fantastic. Anyway, back to Steve down in Derbyshire, and the work that you're doing there is absolutely brilliant, Steve. Good luck with it all, and I hope it all comes to fruition. Your potatoes are looking extraordinary. Look at the amount of potatoes you're going to get from those. I've now topped all my potatoes up too with more soil, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get a nice bumper crop. But as I said, mine are in bags this year, and I look forward to seeing the results of my potatoes and your potatoes towards the autumn. Well, once again, thank you very much for watching Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. I've loved all the information about the nettles, and it just completely changes my view on those plants. Extraordinary. They were used in the Second World War on both sides for different things. Fantastic. And thanks to all the school children out there that picked them in the Second World War. What a hazardous task they asked you to do. Well, thanks ever so much for watching. Oh, don't forget, press the subscribe button. Let's keep going onwards and upwards with all our subscribers. Well, it's starting to rain yet again here, and so I'm going to pop inside and well, finish this video in the comfort of my house with a lovely cup of tea. Ta-ra for now.